Hello, everyone. Well, it's August 1st, and that means it's time to share with you an update on my goals. Something that you have hopefully seen on this channel if you've watched it for any time is I always give a monthly update for my goals, right? So I gave you my yearly goals right around January 1st, reported them each of the first 6 months, then got away in July and really thought about what I wanted to do in the second half. And this is the first time I'm reporting on kind of the status of how we're doing in this second half of the year. So I thought I would just bring up the PowerPoint, kind of talk about what we've been doing. And of course, always remind you that the key to having goals is to, write them down, share them with folks, and then, find what makes sense for you. Is it weekly? Is it monthly? Is it quarterly? What does make sense to kind of share with you? So I'm going to be doing it monthly just so you all can see what's going on. But more importantly, you can hold me accountable. You can ask me questions and you can just see what's going on. So let me share this update. All right. So again, I think goals are important. They drive you. I've been hardwired this way probably for 20 or so years, given, I had 90-day quotas, and actually earlier in my career, I had monthly quotas. So I know what it means to show up and feel like you're behind. It's pretty consistent in my working careers. You always felt like you were climbing up the hill, which is why being a salesperson is so hard for so long. So I don't do this very often, but do me a favor. You've been watching a couple of videos and you haven't yet hit that subscribe button. Do me that favor. That would be greatly appreciated. We just went over 2,500 subscribers, which is amazing. Frankly, didn't know what to expect doing this, but hopefully you all are watching this. It's all organic, which I'm pretty proud of, right? I'm not paying for subs or, any of these services are out there. I just want to keep putting out daily content. And if it helps you, hopefully you'll hit that subscribe button for me, and it'd be greatly appreciated. Do me that favor. Is Graham Stephan likes to say, smash that like button. He says it helps the YouTube algorithm. I have no idea how this stuff works. So he's the expert. He makes a lot of money doing this. So I'm going to say smash that like button and do me that favor. And then most importantly for me, it's the comments. And the comments are important because I'm the only one that interacts with this channel. I like to see what you all are doing. But also don't forget, I have something called subscriber questions, where if you're interested in real estate investing, you of course subscribe to the channel. You can ask a question, and there's every chance that I may create a video answering your question in the next couple of days. So without further ado, let's get started. Given this is our first kind of summary of how we did in July, I thought I'd just quickly go through and remind you how I broke down my goals. Right, family first. We do have a plan to take at least 3 trips. If you remember my first half goals, we weren't as flexible, but now we can. So we'll talk about that. Health. I had an injury earlier in the year, and I had stayed kind of on my goals. But I'm maturing and finding other ways to try to stay healthy. Buy and hold. This is something that was a big deal for me is cash flow. And I kind of fell into this trap. If you go back and look at my goals from earlier in the year, I talked about units and counts and all of that. And I think that's, as I've said in a couple of videos, that's a mistake. It really doesn't matter how many units you have. You don't get paid for unit counts. So I'm going to stop talking about that. At least as far as our cash flow and our living expenses go, it's about the net, right? Do I care if I cover my monthly expenses with 10 properties or 100? No, not really, right? It's kind of all the same. So that's why I wanted to change that up. We are doing some flips. It is something that has proven to be a lot of fun. We're helping lots of people building cash flow portfolios for folks. Something I didn't know or didn't expect is we have a lot of repeat buyers, and people like what we're doing and they see the evolution because we're taking walkthrough videos and all that stuff. So to see people come back and buy a second, a third, a fourth property is pretty amazing. And also, I need to go to paid events. Over the years, not an excuse, I don't think, but just facts. I was working so much and traveling so much that I didn't never know where I was going to be. So I didn't go to any paid events. I went to real estate meetups because those were a couple hours, and if I showed up, great. If I didn't, no big deal. But I never went to like a 3-day event. I never really got to socialize with lots of other real estate investors. So that's a big deal for me now. And as you'll see, I already just selected the first two. So we'll talk about that on that section. The other one is I'm now focused on actually opening up a Fresno office, and we'll talk about that. And there's lots of things that that office will aim to do, but I thought I would, we'll cover that. Private Facebook group. I want to see people, closing on properties and all of that. So we'll talk about that on the last slide. And then lastly, it's the YouTube, right? It's now become daily content, where before it was, I promised to get stuff out weekly, and now we're doing daily stuff, and actually have been doing daily stuff probably for 5 months now. So share with you how we do it. Okay, so there's the goals. So here's the tracking spreadsheet that I listed, because again, this is like right in front of me over my desk, right? I can look at it right over there. And again, this is what, this just keeps me focused and keeps me focused on what I'm doing for y'all. So here's the update. I did tweak this. If you go back, right, there's no July in the original slide. I started in August because I'm recording this August 1st, but in reality, I should start in July because I'm reporting July data. So this is why the spreadsheet looks only slightly different. So this is what we did. I'll just go top to bottom. We did take a trip in July. We now, we lost our younger dog for health reasons, and very traumatic. But now that we're kind of getting back into it, we're taking our older dog, and we actually did a trip. We drove almost 8 hours, and he did fine. And now we know we can do that. So we're planning a trip in August as well. So that was good news for us. Now aiming to do 4 days a week of at least 30 minutes, whether that's doing something in my garage or at just a local gym that Olivia is a part of. And that's proven to be doable. I'm not losing the weight, but I think my problem is not really the exercise. I just eat terribly. So I need to do a better job of that. I for some reason got back my sweet tooth, which I thought I kicked for the last couple of years. And then as far as net cash flow, there's obviously 2 ways that this can happen. One is you could buy additional cash flow portfolio properties, or 2, in my case, you can pay off debt. So we paid off a small loan that we've actually had since 2010, I think. It was one of those loans we bought we secured from a private lender during the crash at 10%. So we paid him back. If you did the math, you can see it's only a $30K loan, but we paid that back. We did complete 3 flips in July, and something else you'll have noticed is I for some reason was tracking them separately before. That's just silly. So now it's our flips. There are 3, and I think there may be 3 completed actually in August as well. We didn't go to any paid events yet in July, but we have selected 2. They're actually both in October, but that is going to be a lot of fun and really help us network and grow. We are opening that office. The target is August 1st. So today, there is still a lot to be done. I had already remodeled this building, but now making our own and doing all these things, it's expensive. Just getting it wired, for example, was almost 10 grand. Putting in, a couple of cables and phones and all of that in the office, and getting a rack and all those things. So it's actually a lot more expensive than I thought, but it's still something I want to do. Given the office isn't open yet, we haven't generated any opportunities for the team there, but I just can't imagine it not working. So that's going to be interesting. Haven't really opened up yet to Fresno media. I think it's going to happen, but we'll see. As far as my students go, I've actually interviewed a couple of students. One is already aired on this channel. The other one I think is tomorrow or maybe Saturday. So clearly the students are getting value and it's working, and I'm loving what they're doing. But it's hard for me to track how many deals they've done after taking the course. It might be something I add to the private Facebook group or not, but this is going to be one of those ones that may turn into be too fuzzy or too hard to track, but I'm going to give it another shot in August. Daily content, absolutely hit every day, probably not sure what my average is, but probably a video and a half every day is the average. And then trying to get to 3,500 subscribers. And I'm happy to say we just crossed the 2,500 in July. So we have 5 months to do 999 subscribers. So that's kind of July. I think July was a great month. I think a lot of things are kind of going in the right direction, and it feels really good. It feels like a lot of positive momentum. So these are my thoughts. First off, we proved that traveling with our older dog, he's actually 14, is doable. He sleeps. He does just fine. He doesn't get stressed out like our younger one did. So that is certainly doable, and we will be doing more of that. Opening an office is expensive. I think I'm going to be right around $50,000 in costs. That's wiring, signage, dressing up the building to meet my expectations, adding furniture. What else is going on? I got to furnish my office. It's expensive. And I for whatever reason, I didn't really plan this. I thought it'd be 2025, but if you're going to do it right, for example, I just got a bid to put in fake grass, right? So the yard in the front, as you'll see, is probably, I don't know, 15 feet by 8 feet, maybe 9 feet. And, Fresno's hot, right? And I'm going to put the sign up there, and, there's only going to be like 40 square feet of grass, maybe. So I can either spend a lot of money on water all the time, or I can put in fake grass. I just got a bid. It's like $8,000. Right? Or 60, I think it was 6,800. I was like, oh my God, this stuff's crazy. So just another example of trying to do it right is expensive. So again, a goal of mine is not unit count. I mistakenly put that out there, and I've now come to see that that's probably something pushed by social media, and people like to pound their chest and say how many they have. I really don't care, right? If you have 1 million units but are making no money, then what does that mean, right? You're one downturn away from going bankrupt, because I've seen people with lots of units go bankrupt last time, and I'm not going to perpetuate that. So I'm going to talk about cash flow. So we actually paid off a small loan. It was one of those 10% loans we put out during the financial collapse. And obviously 10% of 30K is $250 a month. So we paid that off, and now own another house free and clear. We did complete 3 flips. But also we moved 3 more properties into escrow, which was a lot of fun to do, and more to come. The student closings, that's interesting. I know some students have closed. We've seen emails in the private Facebook group. But I don't know that that's the right way to record it. So I have to figure it out. Plus, of all my students, I think only about 60% are in the Facebook group, which I understand, because again, I didn't have Facebook for, 95% of my life, or probably 98% of my life. So I understand why people don't want to use it. But again, I need to figure that out, or this is going to have to be one of those ones that, was a admirable goal, but is difficult to track. We want to go to paid events. I want to network. I want to be around more people. I want to see what's going on in other areas. So I'm happy to say that there's 2 events that we are already going to, and Olivia is coming with me. So if you're going to be there at either of these, let me know, because I'd love to meet with you, maybe sign your book or whatever that happens to be. So the one is I think it's whole scaling. It's going on in Houston, and it's a 3-day event, and I can't wait to go out there and see what they're doing. To be clear, I have no interest in becoming a wholesaler, but if I can understand all the great marketing and systems and processes they put in place, maybe there's something I can do to bring to the office, and maybe make it even better. And then there's the Flip Hacking Live going on in San Diego. I just love what Bill Allen and team are doing. I think there's, so many things that they do and share. It's pretty awesome. And I might sneeze, so excuse me. But they're also bringing in a keynote speaker for the book Extreme Ownership. This one, which I loved. And I think I need to do a book review on this if I haven't. I think I actually already did. But anyways, so I'm going to get my book signed. I think the keynote speaker, which will probably be 90 minutes, is going to be worth all the costs I'm putting out there. So that's going to be pretty awesome. And I'm being active, and I'm trying to rebuild that habit. I had I've been going to the gym 6 days a week or doing some exercise 6 days a week for probably 3 or 4 years now. And then I had that injury, and the habit broke, and I need to rebuild that habit. And then finally, daily content. Now that has become a habit. I try to get the daily content, at least one thing created before 8 o'clock every day, so that I know that the next day is already covered. So this is going pretty well. So in the end, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. If you've watched a couple of videos, it's just helpful, and as you've already seen, it is one of my goals. Hit that like for the video, as Graham Stephan says, smash that like button. And then, of course, for me, it's the comments. If you have questions, leave them. And let me know what you're doing with your goals, right? If you're still watching this video, tell me about one of your goals in a comment and how you're doing. Make sure you track it, share it, and all those good things. So hope that makes sense. Thank you for watching. I look forward to sharing you August update right around September 1st. All right, everybody, have a great day. Take care.